Airtime this morning due to technical difficulties we've had on our part, but we sort of got through that and are able to bring us today's two interviews. And believe me, I'm really excited because we're going over to Canada and joining up with my good friend Beamer Wigley's coming. This was the interview we were supposed to do the other day. Again, technical difficulties, not on our part this time, but it does happen. So we're catching up with Beamer very shortly. Later on this morning, we're going to head on over to the UK and catch up with Gary Porter. Now, believe me, looking forward to meeting Gary Porter as well. Going to be feeling sorry for him. Midnight over there. Yeah, happens, eh? You're right here at Galaxy. But first of all, let's do this. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 8 after 10 o'clock, and, well, it is 18 degrees. That's my prediction for the day. Wasn't quite sure what Barbara's prediction was. I think, 19 degrees. Had to pit me. She just had to pit me. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to stay at 18, actually. I don't think it's going to go to 19 at all. Coming into a new weekend, and Friday, August 21st, glad to be joined. Coming out of Kelowna, British Columbia, is our good friend Beamer Wigley. And, well, you've asked for it. We're going to play it. Here's Crazy, Being Crazy. Yes, I'll talk to you more about this afterwards, but let me tell you, bro, he has a radio station, he does podcasts, he does a whole host of these things. He also does shows. Now, given the COVID thing right now, but I can see you at the castle, and believe me, he does this 3-day festival at a castle with about 80 to 100,000 people per day. Right? Ooh, so he knows his deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, he's wanting to break into the New Zealand market, and we're assisting him in that. You know what I mean? So we're partnering up with them. But the deal is, if I'm going to introduce him bands and he wants to break that into New Zealand, he's got to bring our Galaxy bands over.
All right, I see.
Right? So we do New Zealand, we do Australia, but he also does England, through the UK, through Germany, all the way down into Bangladesh and India. So now we're going to turn it not only just into, you know, an Australasian show down here. The potential is now a world show. You know what I mean?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I cannot wait till we're in a position where we can do that again.
Well,
because I can tell, as soon as all this is over, people are itching for live music.
Oh, hell yes. Hell yes.
And the artists are itching to get back out there, so I think there's going to be a huge wave of concerts.
Well, as I say to you, Beamer, I've always been a big fan of yours. I've considered myself a friend for some time, and I do this reluctantly to introduce people literally to John because, we do the introductions, then we leave you guys to talk it out amongst yourselves. What happens, happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But John, being a very close friend of mine, I do respect him. I love and respect you as well, and I couldn't think of a better thing to be able to pass on to both of you.
Well, thank you so much for even suggesting that. That really does mean the world. Thank you.
Well,
no, that would be incredible. I'd love to just chat with him and see what he's about and get a feel for what I'm about.
Exactly. Now, bearing in mind he is English, he comes from Devon. That's where he will be talking to you from, and he likes to Skype, much like we do. You know what I mean? So that you get the feel of each other face to face. But having said that, as I said, he's English. Treat him nicely. Let's go to the desk. Gosh, it's good to be back in the driver's seat again. I got to be honest with you. We've had a harrowing time since midnight. I got to be up straight up, and I couldn't think of a better thing to do than have a chat to a good old friend of ours coming out of course, Kelowna, British Columbia. Beamer Wigley, welcome back.
It is so good to be back. It's been way too long.
It really has. Now, we attempted to get together, last week, but unfortunately there was a little bit of problems with the camera on your part.
Monday.
Yeah, my computer said no for some reason, and I was upset about that because I wanted to talk to you guys, and I hadn't been able to talk to all your beautiful listeners in so long.
Exactly. And believe me, these guys here that are, what we call our audio audience have been chomping at the bit, Beamer, to be able to have a chat to you, especially these surreal times right now with this COVID virus going on. Tell us how that has affected you.
It's been wild. It's been obviously a very slow summer because usually I'd be out playing 30, 40 shows, but down to 0 shows, which is a steep decrease, but I mean, it's for the best. We need everybody to be healthy, and we need everybody to be safe so we can get back to playing the shows that we love. And tell you, once we flatten this curve and we get people on the road to being healthy again, we're going to be out on the road playing everywhere. Stopping me.
Beamer, I love that. I really, really do. And, personally, I'd love to be able to take in a show myself, just to experience the Wigley experience. I've got to be honest with you. I would absolutely love to be able to see you live on stage. And we're kind of talking down that road. We have a little while now. And, maybe, just maybe, with consideration, that might come to fruition sooner than we think, to be very honest with you. But we, again, got to get through this COVID virus thing. Now, while this time is down, have you been writing? Are you recording new stuff?
A lot of writing and a lot of recording. I mean, that's pretty much all I can do now. So this has been really good for me creatively because I've been able to get in a groove of just, writing every day and being in this creative process. It's been flowing really well. So I'm singing better than I ever have, I'm playing better than I ever have, and the music's sounding better than it's ever had.
Well, I've got to be honest with you, at least you can do it on a professional level and, take that to the stage. Me, I'm I'm a king, a legend in my own bedroom. Speaking of which...
Too. This is where I put on my best concerts. My best concerts are in this room.
Exactly. I'm just about to say, I see the workbench in the background there. That's where most of the good stuff's streamed up, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I usually do all my writing on my phone. I've come to a point, I used to write everything down in a book, but now I'm just like, just for ease, and, I have ideas on me everywhere. I'm always thinking of new ideas, and I can't rely that I'm always going to have a book on me. So I've kind of moved over to the phone. So I'll be lying in bed, I'll roll over, grab my phone, write an idea. But now it's perfect because, as you can see, my bed's right there and my studio's right here. So whenever I have that idea in the middle of the night, they're like, oh, I might forget this when I wake up. I can just go over to my studio and record it without a problem.
Let's get familiar again because, believe me, the surroundings have changed. Yes, he's moved building, it's actually, and that's why. Now, a number of people, and believe me, I can name them, all female actually, who've done interviews with me in their bedrooms, and believe me, I don't know whether you're familiar with Clayton Bellamy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he did an ad for me, actually, going, I don't know how I found myself in your bedroom, but thank you for listening to galaxy107fm. Which is typical of Clayton's sense of humour, if you know what I mean. But I got to be honest with you, Beam, you're the first man I've ever, and I consider you a man, that has ever invited me into his bedroom. So I got to thank you for that.
Well, this is the I nicknamed this room the Wild Blue after my favorite album, and it's just I love creating music in here. That was my number one thing. My room had to be comfortable for making music because before I had my own separate studio and it was a whole different room, so I built that just to be a space that I could create in. But now that I'm kind of making the mix between comfort and functionality, I'm so happy here. It's perfect.
I like it because believe me, we need you being creative. We really, really do. Now we kicked off the show with Crazy Being Crazy, which is getting still a huge response here at Galaxy, and people do request it, my friend. They really, really do. But let's refresh our audio audience's memories and tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I think this was the very last song that we wrote for Cloud9 24/7, which was the EP that it came off of. And I came into the room and I said, listen, I have this title, which was Crazy Being Crazy. I said, I want to write a really cute love song. We hadn't had that on the record, and I wanted something a little less tempo, something that you could put on coming through a record player while listening to having dinner and slow dancing with your loved ones. So I wrote this with Keith Adrian and Jamie Follesay, and this song probably shouldn't have existed because Jamie wasn't supposed to be in the room, and it was supposed to be a whole different set of writers that day, but everything just kind of came together, and Crazy Being Crazy came into existence, and we honestly didn't know how good it was at first. We wrote it and we're like, okay, there was a few other shining stars of the writing trip. We also wrote I Want It Now, that trip, and a couple other songs that made it on the record, but I got a text from my producer about 10 days after I got back home from Nashville, and he goes, Crazy Being Crazy could creep up on us and be one of the better songs on the record, and now, in my opinion, it's the best on the record.
Well, I got to be honest with you, but, there's still arguably some very, very good Beamer Wigley stuff out there, like I Want It Now, for instance. Boombox, Meteorite. Do I need to go through the list? Beamer Wigley, you have an absolute... Well, I think a greatest hits album before you're even worth greatest hits, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you. No, I love putting out music, and I'm super happy with the music I've been putting out lately, and I just can't wait to put out this new stuff.
Well, you know something? I'm always excited. I really, really am when I find out that we've got a brand spanking new Beamer Wigley track in the system. Now, Beamer Wigley, I've got to ask you, are you doing something with girls?
Well, I mean, if you count this girl right here, which is my favorite guitar on the planet, but other than that, I'm too busy focusing on music. Plus, I'm not going out right now. Once I start going out right now, maybe I'll have some new inspiration for songs.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I was talking to a fellow Canadian the other day, and we were saying about the surreal times. And back in the day, he's looking for a vaccine pretty much straight away. And I says, well, if you weigh it up, when AIDS first came along, look how long it's taken to get anything that can sustainably keep that at bay. You know what I mean? I said, Back in the day, they were saying you needed a full-body condom. Well, nothing's changed except now you need air conditioning with it.
Exactly.
This bubble thing, I mean, let's take it to the extreme and say, okay, we're going to live in a bubble.
Have you seen those videos where people will get in the giant inflatable hamster balls and run at each other? I think we all need to take those out. Forget the masks. Let's just start running into each other with inflatable balls around us.
Exactly. And the other thing too, I saw in I think it was in Korea, they had these face masks on with shields down, right?
There are so many cool things that people have come up with to keep socially distanced and keep protecting us. It's awesome.
I love that. Cool. Yeah, I love that. But there's only one thing missing with the shield, and that is maybe a windscreen wiper.
Ah, there you go. We got to have one on the inside in case you sneeze.
Couple of lights, Exactly. But that's what the face filter's for in the first place, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So maybe the one on the inside, but maybe a couple of, high beams there and a windscreen wiper. Could be.
Keep some Windex and a microfiber cloth in your back pocket, you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I get it. So, Beamer Wigley, tell me something about a girl. Tell me all about this.
This was a really interesting song to write because I'd never written a song with this kind of process before. My producer had this title, I want to say at least 3 months before we wrote it. And he came up with this title. He called me. He goes, I have a good title for you. I don't know how I want to write it. I don't know when we should write it. But it's called Something to Do with a Girl. I want you to think on it. I'll think on it. But I'm not going to bring it out in a write until I feel comfortable. And I said, okay, I'll sit back. I'll follow your lead on this. Whenever you feel is the right time to bring out this title, I'm in. I'll write it. So I was down in Nashville, actually my most recent trip. And Phil Barton, who's written amazing songs for Low Cash. He wrote A Woman Like You for Lee Brice and Hard to Love. Phenomenal songwriter. He came in the room and there was a smirk on my producer's face, and I could tell something was up. And the first thing he said was, I had this title called Something to Do with a Girl. And Phil instantly came up with the guitar groove, and the song just went from there. It caught fire. And I definitely the most country thing I put out in a long time, but I've been needing that sound. It's so good to get back to that kind of feel.
Well, here at Galaxy, we play your music all the time. And when a new one comes up, we dip our toe in the water, if you know what I mean. We play it, we don't say anything to anybody, just play it, see what sort of reaction it sort of creates. Well, I've got to be honest with you, Beamer. Of all the music that we have played for you so far and done this process, this one has caused an absolute sensation. It really, really has. We then introduced it to our audio audience, and, well, poor Sarah in reception there has come back to the idea of using a USB to be able to put down how many people have been requesting it, literally. It's gone ballistic. I think, arguably...
Everybody listening, thank you so much for requesting it. I mean, it does mean the world.
I think arguably, and the BCCs are coming up very, very shortly as well. Are you going to be making the appearance of the BCCMAs?
I unfortunately do not think I'll be able to make it to that, just because of social distancing and everything that's going on. I think it's better for me to just stay at the home base right now.
Well, you know something? For me, I think that's a gold medal right there. I really do. For the rest of our audio audience, and believe me, there's 62 countries, 94 cities right now tuned in, listening to this interview that we're doing. And I'm absolutely elated to be able to present to our audience Beamer Wigley. He's joined us live, coming out of British Columbia, with something to do with a girl, right here at Galaxy. This is great, Beamer. This is absolutely great.
It's a fun song. When we wrote this one, we kind of knew that there was something about it that the other songs didn't have.
Well, our audience loves it. They really, really do.
I'm so glad. The response to the song has been really good, which I've been so happy about.
And you know me, Beamer, I play you in my breakfast show as many times as I humanly possibly can. The breakfast show is primarily built up on what the requests are through the previous 24-hour period, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because of the young ones that get in, listen to the music, the trends, the ebbs, everything that goes with it is really, really interesting. And Beamer Wigley is a consistent in the request files.
I mean, you guys are the best listeners. What can I say? Your listeners have great taste.
They do. And you know something? That's why I'm proud to be able to play your music, bro, because seriously, our audience appreciates your style.
Well, I'm so glad. And thank you guys for playing it. That's the huge thing.
Bro, we're mates, we're friends.
It really does make the difference for me.
Yep. I'll tell you, bro, if it didn't make the cut, it would go in the trash. But consistently... We are just absolutely... Yeah, you take the words out of our mouth sometimes, Beamer. And, the whole lot of us here at Galaxy, we all love you. We all love you. And we're enjoying watching you grow with your with your style and class of music.
Well, I've always had love for you guys. You guys are always the best. I just can't wait to get new music off to you guys. New stuff for you to play.
I'm like a kid at a candy store. I can't wait. When our production team come running down the hallway saying we've got a new Beamer Wigley, I have been in a meeting before, and I'm talking a fairly important bloody meeting. I've left that just to go to production to listen to your songs.
Well, thank you. I tell you, I'm so ready for this next record to come out. Cloud9 24/7 was a huge step. It was such a big turning of the page, and it got me set up for putting out I Got You, and now Something to Do with the Girl. But then now that the rest of the stuff's all lined up, I'm just waiting for the right time to put it out, and it's going to be big. It's going to be good.
I'm there with you, bro. I'm right there. Yeah. Let's wrap this up. Don't go anywhere just yet, babe. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 28 after 10 o'clock. It is 17 degrees downtown. It's hit my high, I'm happy about that. Well, you know, Barbara's 19. I don't think so, but we'll see, we'll see. Friday, coming into a brand spanking new weekend, and a bit gloomy at the moment, but I think it'll burn off by Sunday. Ready for you to go back to work on Monday, I'm pretty sure of that. August 21st, and I'm so elated to be joined by a good friend of ours here at Galaxy, Beamer Wigley, coming out of Kelowna, British Columbia. And Beamer, as always, we're so excited to have you join us. I'm looking forward to the next chapter. What's coming up? Got any clues?
A lot of new music, a lot of new sounds, a lot of stuff you never heard before. I'm having fun making music during this quarantine. It's been so good creatively for me, and I just can't wait to showcase what I've been working on.
You know, my friend, I can't wait as well, as you well know. But I am going to wrap this up right now. Please stay safe. Take care of you, take care of the family, and do all the right things. Let's see you back on stage in no time. What do you reckon?
Of course, sounds good to me. Wash your hands, everybody. Let's get back on the road playing shows. I can't wait to come down, visit you guys, make some live music down south.
Believe me, we'd be very, very happy to provide you everything you need to be able to get you on stage here in New Zealand. We really would. Beamer Wigley, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, Studio B, yep, and Maxi Freeze, close to you, way back in 1990.